my shroom slinging slasher build video, I had a pinned comment talking about a cheaper version of the build, or like a similar build. It's not really the same because it's not a great sword, it's a great spear. So I went and made that build. I just got it level 50 and infused my ring, so it's pretty much finished. I'm not gonna get it to level 80, but like it works. It's proof of concept. So there are a few issues with the build. I have corrected them, but the build as it is in my pinned comment, or like as I was originally thinking about it, I did end up changing it. But it was Honey Steel and Queen Bumblz pull. So you do, I think I even mentioned, you need a contained DE. So it is technically DE locked. It's everything else is single enchant. This is just because I was lazy and I didn't want to have to get another Boglord or Sac enchant. So it works. You do have a slight mistiming with sacrificial, which will basically cap your damage like 700 lower for 10 seconds, which is, it's pretty bad. If you're fighting a boss, it's bad. If you're just doing a dungeon, you'll be fine. But the reason that is because Blessed Link summons, which you'd have to use because you can't use Mage Bombers, you get a 20-second cooldown, but this buff is only 15 base. So with contained, it's like 19 point something seconds. So it's basically matches up. But now what happens is this will end like half a second before this is. That's not the issue. The problem is I cast again. Sacrificial did not restart. So I have a 15-second cooldown, but Sacrificial is going to end in 2 seconds. And now I don't have Sacrificial, which is a huge damage buff, but I still have to wait 10 seconds to get it back. So that's a huge issue with the build, but the version I'm going to show you now, like the corrected version, is much better because it fixes that problem and it deals true damage. So I'll go show you that. Okay, I've now got the corrected version of the build. It's the same build, Queen Bumblz, but it uses the Starlight Greatblade. That gives you 0.4 or hex scaling, and it allows you to get Undead Buni. So Undead Buni has a 10-second cooldown, which lines up with, or doesn't line up with, but it's shorter than the Queen's power-up time, so you have 100% uptime on that, and you have less problems with sacrificial timing because it's every 10 seconds, not 20. So your window of like missing out on damage because you didn't refresh sacrificial is lowered, or non-existent depending on how you're playing. This version, although the blade might be more expensive than Honey Steel, it's harder to get and it costs more SP, is technically cheaper in terms of enchants because you no longer need contained. You're not trying to extend buff up time anymore because the cooldowns fall in line with each other, and the rest can be single enchants. Also, the armor is just dead cheap. It's Bumblz and Swamp Brawler, 3 pieces, and then 2 Boglords. That's probably the hardest part to get, so you have to kill a lot of frogs, and it's expensive from Snailfang, but it is a very large damage boost. The guild is Vamp. If you're lucky enough with Swamp Brawler procs, you don't need Vamp. You can run Knight, and that allows you to upgrade the build with DEs to go Ferocious. And then it's similar to Antiquation's build. I think this one still might pull ahead. You could swap to Ork, and Antiquation's build also used, what was it? It used Mines Capt and Queen Bumblz and 10A because those both give you an extra buff. That's an extra 0.1 tenacity because of Ork, which is a higher damage just if you're running Ferocious Sacrificial. If you're doing the single enchant build, you don't need to do that. You also don't need to be on Ork, but that is a upgrade. I don't think running those is going to be better than 3 Bumblz, 3 Swamp Brawler, just because 0.1 tenacity does not beat a 20% damage boost from Marsh Flow, and Swarm increases your summon cap, which also increases your Boglord damage. I just don't think it will beat it. Yeah, you'll have more tenacity, but it's not. I don't think that's any better.